Hello, everyone, and welcome. And this is another episode of the Bitcoin Hard Fork / ChainSplit series. This is episode 4. I was really hoping that the other day, when I did episode 3, it was fully over and we were finally able to relax and enjoy SegWit. And then, what do you know? Here comes more insane news about hard forking Bitcoin. And several articles have come out, and some people are getting a little nervous because of those articles. And as much as I want to ignore this complete and utter nonsense, I feel like we need to address it. And to help me address the situation, I am joined by Jimmy Song, the writers of one of these articles that, once again, Jimmy, before you introduce yourself, you have this ability to write neutral articles. But you go like from being the most hated neutral person in Bitcoin one week to the most liked neutral person the other week, and then you find a way to flip that over again. So you have managed. So in a 2-week span between having that conversation with Thomas Hunt and Eric Lombroso, where everyone got mad at you, including myself, you then became the most likable neutral person once again with SegWit activation, and now people are back trolling you for scaring people over this hard fork. So go ahead and briefly introduce yourself and why you felt the need to basically put this, give this situation a little more light, and we are going to talk about what that situation is.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the podcast, Tone. And, you know, like last time, I think we had like 1,000 viewers. I was hoping that we could maybe, that's not why I did this writing. Yeah, I mean, I was as surprised as you on Saturday when I heard this announcement. I think we were both on Twitter, and I saw somebody reply to both of us saying, hey, there's this Bitcoin Cash thing. I was on the road. I was like, yeah, I'll just ignore it. Got back. And I read it, and I was like, "Oh crap!" This and you know, if you check all this stuff, it's like, oh man, I was working on this beautiful article on Bitcoin development, and I had to abandon it all and like write this thing. I mean, I'm not happy about like having to switch the article that I'm going to release on Monday midstream, but you know, that's what I had to do. Anyway, oh, there's a dog. All right.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll take care of that problem.
All right. Yeah,
not
sure.
literally. No PETA people call me. I'm not taking care of it literally.
Tone's gonna shoot the dog. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, yeah, I wrote this article because I think it's very important for people to know about all the things that are happening, and I want people to know about Bitcoin Cash in particular, because it means cash in your pocket. And, you know, it's, you know, it may mean that you are entitled to some amount of Bitcoin Cash. And if you don't take steps to secure your own Bitcoin, you may not get some of this Bitcoin Cash that you can convert for, you know, Bitcoin or buy more of, or whatever it is that you want to do with it. If you don't get your private keys off of there, it's you know, sort of up to the exchange to pay you that stuff if they pay you at all. So it's very I felt like it was an important sort of public service announcement, and I also wanted to let people know what it was and, you know, kind of help them out in that way.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. And let's see. So let's start with the price. Okay, this is the Tone Vase channel, and that is my specialty. And I feel that this news is holding back the price a little bit, which is, you know, not bad. I mean, we're near all-time highs. It's not a big deal. It's stabilizing the price a little bit, so it's not a problem. But once again, there is this news that I believe has a headwind towards the price, and it's scaring some people a little bit. So I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for this news to blow over so that the price can go back up again. Here's the weekly chart. This candle just started last night, and nothing is really going on yet. Here's the daily chart. We're going into this flat pennant, bullish pennant, And I think on my video the other day, I just Googled bullish pennant for the people, and then I clicked a picture that resembled it quite a bit. So it looks something like this pretty much. Okay, you get this big move, and then you make this triangle, and then you bust out the triangle. Here's another way of looking at it. Nope, but you need a target. That's not a good way of looking at it. Here you go. That's a good way of looking at it. So you get this move up, and then you consolidate in the triangle, and then you bust out again. Okay, so that's my bullish pattern that is forming right now. And if we go back to the chart, there it is. Unfortunately, this is my advanced indicator, and this number right here today is red, which means that it's flipping the price a little bit. And that's okay. The day isn't over yet. It's almost over. Oh, the day is almost over, right? I'm on. It's almost 8 p.m. on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So yeah, so the price will flip, but this pattern remains. So I think, so this news broke out. So what I said on my channel, I think VIA BTC is a front. I said it yesterday, but I've said it months and months and months ago. VIA BTC is a front, in my opinion. I think it's just a side pool with the combination of funding from Bitmain and Bitcoin.com. And that's speculation on my part. I have absolutely no evidence. Though about 12 hours after I said this, Bitcoin.com came out and said that they are like financially supporting VIA BTC, I believe, or at least they're working with them. So I don't remember the exact.
I thought that was Bitmain.
I'm sorry, I meant Bitmain. Sorry, Bitmain is supporting VIA BTC like financially, or they're like partners in some way or one way, shape, or form. And so the way I see VIA BTC is VIA BTC basically throws out the craziest ideas out there, and then they see how many crazies from RBTC cesspool they can get on their side, and that kind of gives them the idea to do it. All right. So here's your article. So we got a couple of things to talk about in your article. Okay. So you found this idea a little bit troubling, and and the first part is fine. You explain how they're basically following the Bitcoin ABC roadmap, but the Bitcoin ABC roadmap was created as a countermeasure for the user-activated soft fork. When the user-activated soft fork on August 1st has been shown that it will not be an event, the VIA BTC people still decided to use the idea of a Bitcoin ABC and to hard fork. So here are some of the changes that are in that hard fork, and you list where do you list them? You list them here. Right? Mm-hmm. So they and this is kind of obvious, right? So they are making it an 8 megabyte block size. So, and they're not going to have SegWit, correct?
That's not entirely clear yet. I'm gonna do a full audit of the code and try to find out what's going on. So
let's start. So okay. So let me put it this way. You're worried about this, and I'm not. I think this is complete nonsense, and I think this is garbage, and I don't think anyone should even entertain this idea. Okay. So I just asked you a question: are they gonna have SegWit? And you don't know, and it's possible that nobody knows. So people are like freaking out about something. They don't even know what the hell's in the code. Okay, we do know that it's going to be 8 megabytes. We have no idea if it is or going to have SegWit. Obviously, they need to make a significant change so that there is a replay protection and there is no, there's no wipeout of the chain. And they're changing the proof of work difficulty, which is probably the easiest way to separate the two chains, besides an 8 megabyte block, of course. And they're adjusting difficulty every 6 blocks. So it's obvious why they're doing that, because they know there ain't going to be much mining on this chain, and they're never going to, it'll take them like months to reset difficulty at the current 2066 or 144. What's the current difficulty change rate?
2016 blocks, every 2016 blocks.
2016. Okay, I knew it was 2000 something. I forgot what. So there's no way, right? They're gonna have such little hash power on that chain that they need to immediately change the hash rate for difficulty. So adjust the difficulty for the shitty hash rate. Therefore, they're doing it every 6 blocks. So that's not a surprise. Changing difficulty every 6 blocks is completely stupid, because we've seen blocks immediately get found. We've seen 3 blocks found in a span of 6 seconds. You and I saw this while we were doing this show last time. and we've had time where there's like an hour between a block. So doing it every 6 blocks is crazy. If I was designing something like this, I would adjust difficulty after the first 3 blocks, and then after the first 6, and then after the next 12, I would have like stair-stepped it so that
I think that's called exponential back off, but yeah, that's the idea.
Well, I didn't even know it had a name, but I've just thought about this for a total of 60 seconds, and that would have been my advice to them. So if I can come up with smarter advice in 30 seconds, it shows you the, you know, how smart these people are doing something like this, because it's completely dumb.
Well, I mean, you're a smart guy, Tone. You shouldn't.
Nah, that's debatable. All right, let's move on.
He's very smart, okay? He likes to hide it with his accent and everything, but he's very smart.
All right, so, and then you give all these warnings, right? So what does this mean for Bitcoin? Who will mine Bitcoin Cash? That's a good question, Jimmy. Who do you think is going to mine Bitcoin Cash?
Well, I think via BTC, but I don't know who else will. I think BTC.top came out with some statement saying we'll just mine whatever is financially advantageous for us, which, I mean, I think they're open to it. Bitmain came out and said something like we'll monitor, and they didn't commit to anything. So it's possible. I don't know. And, you know, one of the later questions I have there is, will hash rate follow price or price follow hash rate? We don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing how they named it decentralized cash. There is nothing decentralized about this project. There's absolutely nothing decentralized about it, other than like this is crazy to me, right? So via BTC is going to mine it. Maybe Bitmain, maybe one more subsidiary of Bitmain. Is basically just Bitmain. It's Bitmain and their friends. There's nothing decentralized in this mining. And there's nothing decentralized in that code. That code is written by one person. And no core developers are going to help write that code. This is complete nonsense to me. All right, let's move on. Who will have the larger hash rate? Come on, is this really a question?
Well, I'm asking about. All right, so if you have
Jimmy, come on, seriously.
Who controls the hash rate, Tone? Who controls the hash rate?
It's not Bitmain. It's people that bought the mining gear.
Right, but a large portion is by these Chinese pools, right? And they were supporting bigger blocks before. Is it possible that they could go over? I don't know.
No.
Well, I mean, if Bitmain gives them $20 million, you don't think they would be tempted, right? If
that's fine, they'll be tempted, but I don't. This thing ain't gonna be worth. This thing is gonna be worth jack. This is gonna be worth jack. I honestly think that this is via BTC's exit scam. Nobody knows who via BTC is. The pool came out of nowhere. The pool came out about 9 months ago when SegWit started making waves. When SegWit started making waves, this pool came out. This pool came out directly. We can probably Google this, right? This pool showed up to block SegWit, literally, which is why I always suspected that it was Roger Vere's. It was funded by Roger Ver. But then when Bitmain joined the fight against SegWit, I then said, oh, maybe that wasn't Roger Ver funding it with Bitcoin.com, and maybe it was Bitmain funding it themselves because they have this investment arm. And now I'm saying, well, I don't know which one of them is doing it, so maybe it's both of them. Okay, so where was I going with this? Who will have the larger?
I'm just saying, like,
wait,
there's a lot of pools like Bitcoin.com that I think could legitimately go over, right? Like that's Roger Ver's. He's willing to lose money, right?
Obviously,
yeah,
he's shown that, yeah, in this fight, yeah.
And and it's you know, I think it's a legitimate question, Tone. Like if there's a lot of money being thrown around, like it's not really necessarily about the economic incentives directly from mining anymore. It becomes sort of like this calculus that you can't really, that's opaque because, you know, there's a lot of other factors involved.
Well, again, like I'm not expecting like any hash rate to go there, right? Like I'm just not. So okay, oh, this is where I was going with it, right? So this is why I was saying that. So via BTC comes out of nowhere 9 months ago. No one knows who runs that pool. No one knows who funds that pool. We know Bitmain's involved. That pool came out of nowhere, and I think it's time for that pool to disappear. And the best way for an anonymous company to disappear is by taking the maximum number of other people's Bitcoin as they can. Which makes sense, right? If I ran an anonymous pool like via BTC, I would want to come up with any scheme possible to get morons to hand me their Bitcoin, and then I can go away, just like, you know, Big Vern with Cryptsy or Alphabay, or, you know, Mt. Gox actually got hacked. Otherwise, Marco Pellis would be, you know, on a private beach somewhere. You would never find him, versus going to a Japanese jail. But to me, this is an exit scam by Via BTC. Via BTC has the only exchange that is offering these futures. So if you want to participate in those futures, you have to give your Bitcoin to Via BTC. So I think this is an exit scam by Via BTC to get people to give them their Bitcoin, and then they will disappear with all of your Bitcoin. Okay, so I would not do that. All right, that's just my opinion. Let's move on. What will the price ratio be? I think I think by August 3rd, the price ratio of this coin, I can't see this coin being above $1 or $2, but that's what I also said about Ethereum, so I could be wrong there. How will the hash rate react to the price, or will the price react to the hash rate? I think the hash rate will react to the price in this case, because this is not a decentralized coin. This is not a coin people are going to use for their transactions, for any kind of markets, you know, gambling markets, darknet markets. I don't see this. I just see this as a 100% speculative token where people are going to try and use to get more Bitcoin. And you have 2 more weeks. You have 2 more weeks before August 1st. Oh, sorry. You have a week before August 1st. And people like me will make sure this is a completely worthless token. So if you want to take your money off exchanges, which unlike you, I don't even care to recommend. That doesn't scare me. We'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, let's go through the rest of your questions. You have anything to comment on so far that I've said?
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but do you think if it is an exit scam, then there won't be a fork August 1st, right?
There could easily be a fork on August 1st. I mean, they can double exit scam. They can steal your Bitcoin, and then they'll sell the Via BTC coins if they're useless to get more Bitcoin, and then disappear.
So they're exit scamming after August 1st, is what you're saying.
Hey, if they can make more money, I mean, they already got your Bitcoin, right? If there's a huge demand, again, this is my speculation. My speculation is Via BTC is exit scamming, okay? So you give them a bunch of Bitcoin, and they promise to split it for you. They just got their hands on your Bitcoin. My speculation is you ain't getting that back, okay? Now, if a lot of people are asking for their Bitcoin back, not cash, they're not Bitcoin cash, Bitcoin back. If too many people are asking for their Bitcoin back before August 1st, they'll exit scam before the hard fork. If not enough people are requesting their Bitcoin August 1st, and there is a market to sell the Bitcoin Cash tokens, Via BTC will just sell your Bitcoin Cash tokens to make themselves more Bitcoin, and then they'll exit scam upon a Bitcoin requests back to their people's accounts.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I understand that most people that have like put money into Via BTC have the frozen Bitcoin that they're going to withdraw as soon as possible after August 1st. So I would think if they're going to exit scam, they have to exit scam very closely after August 1st.
Yeah, well, this sounds like I'm gonna give my money to Mt. Gox and buy Bitcoin at 200 while the other exchanges are selling it at 900, and then I'll easily make money back.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like to me. Okay, so everyone that sent their checks, well, when Mt. Gox was for like a week, Mt. Gox was trading at like half the price of all the other exchanges about a week before Mt. Gox went down, and people that were sending them money to buy Bitcoin at 300 because they can sell it on Bitstamp for 800. Yeah, this is exactly what happened to those people. So I believe that the moment people start requesting their Bitcoin back from Via BTC, Via BTC will disappear and exit scam. That's my personal speculation.
Okay, so I'm guessing that would be August 1st then, because I mean, most people that have money in there will want the frozen ones right back.
Right. I mean, August 1st, August 2nd, they're gonna say that they're being DDoSed. They're gonna say that Bitcoin Core is hacking them. I mean, they're gonna come up with a million excuses why they can't. Like, they're gonna say that the Bitcoin blockchain they're gonna spam the Bitcoin blockchain. They're gonna tell you that, well, SegWit doesn't work and the blocks are full and there's too many transactions and we can't send it to you. I mean, they can come up with a million excuses to basically to hold off on sending you a Bitcoin after August 1st. They will sell all of the Bitcoin Cash in order to maximize their Bitcoin position, and then they'll be gone.
Okay, in that case, what would happen is their pool would no longer be running, and then Bitcoin Cash will stall because there's no mining power on it, I think.
Right? Exactly. And I'm not expecting any mining power on it because I'm not expecting it to be a viable option. Okay, that's how I see it. What will coins that operate on top of Bitcoin like Omni and Counterparty choose? I pray that Omni and Counterparty choose Bitcoin Cash because I think both of those projects are dumb. So I couldn't care less what they choose, and I hope they choose the worst of the two because I don't find these projects to have any kind of usefulness to the Bitcoin ecosystem. I could be wrong there. People have tried to explain Omni to me. People have tried to explain Counterparty to me. And to this day, I don't get it. And I look at these people and I say, I don't get it. Now, back in the day, when someone tried to explain a concept to me, and I said, I don't get it, I used to think that I was the idiot and that person was smarter. But then after I've said this on projects like Hyperledger, Factom, like God, and these were like CEOs of those companies, right? They're like explaining to me what their project does, and I stare back at them with like a dumb look, going, "I don't get it." And I always thought that maybe I'm the idiot. But after this happened with Hyperledger, and the CEO of Hyperledger, the founder of Hyperledger, was like explaining it to me for like 20, 30 minutes, and I just looked at him. I said, "I don't get it." And then like a year later, I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to get it because it makes no freaking sense." So that's how I feel about both Omni and Counterparty. So I really couldn't care less what they choose, and I really hope they choose Bitcoin Cash. So Omni and Counterparty, please go to those chains so you can finally go away. But anyway, so that's just my like blunt opinion on the situation.
Yeah, like I said, Toad, you're the smart guy. I mean, I really do think Toad's very smart, and he can sniff out a rat anytime, and that's your good senses at work there, not anything like that. But yeah, I want to go to the question before that. How will this affect the 2x hard fork part of the SegWit 2x?
Oh, I totally skipped that question. Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you comment on that, and then I'll throw my comment in.
Yeah, so there's sort of two possibilities. If Bitcoin Cash becomes more viable, and this may be something that people may want to cheer for this reason, then there's less of a reason for a 2x hard fork because a lot of the people that would be supporting 2x might move over to Bitcoin Cash. On the other hand, if it does well, then there might be more people saying, well, we need to increase the Bitcoin block size too, or something like that. So I'm not really sure, but I do know that it will affect it to some degree, and there will be arguments made all over the place. What's your thought, Tom?
I think the opposite side of that. I think that the only good thing this will do is if this thing is trading at like $5 a coin, $10 a coin, or whatever it is, it ain't gonna be 500. I'll tell you that much right now. So if this split is viable a week, if this split is viable like 2 weeks into August, and it's trading at like $5 a coin with maybe Barry Silbert pumping it, he likes this kind of nonsense from like what Ethereum Classic did and stuff. So if Barry Silbert is pumping this stuff, or some other opportunistic person that likes to take advantage of scam coins, if they're pumping it, then it makes my life a little bit easier. Than when it's time for the 2x part, I'm just gonna tell all those people, well, you have your 8 megabyte fork, why don't you go use Bitcoin Cash? So it'll definitely make my argument a lot easier to just send all those nutcases that way. But other than that, the whole point is for Bitcoin to have the 2 megabyte hard fork or the 2x hard fork, right? It's not for, they never really wanted an altcoin. They wanted Bitcoin. It's all about the Bitcoin branding. I'm telling you right now, the moment, this doesn't scare me at all, and here's why. Here's why I'm on the opposite side of you the whole way. The only thing the only hard fork that scares me in Bitcoin is a hard fork that will have a claim to the name Bitcoin, okay? And the earlier hard fork debate scared me because people like Roger Ver, who owns Bitcoin.com and has a lot of Bitcoin, Bitmain, who has a lot of money and hash power, and even early Bitcoin adopters like Gavin Andreessen, Jeff Garzik, Fake Satoshi, assuming anybody listens to him, even like Rick Falkwing, so there are like early Bitcoin adopters that were supporting the Bitcoin Unlimited side of things, but Bitcoin Unlimited had a different name. Bitcoin Unlimited didn't scare me. You see, that's the thing. When someone is trying to hard fork Bitcoin and they're naming it something other than Bitcoin, it doesn't scare me for one bit at all. The only thing that scared me was the actual split, because the media power that Bitcoin.com has with the mining power, and Bitcoin.com and Roger are funding blockchain.info, which I think is the shittiest wallet, but it has the most number of users, right? It's kind of like, well, we all agree that Windows is the shittiest operating system, but it has the most number of users. I use it, for God's sakes, right? So there's something to be said about dominating a market, whether you have a good product or not. So if there's someone who's hard forking and there's no way they're going to have the claiming rights to the word Bitcoin, it doesn't scare me. What do you think about that?
Yeah, first of all, I don't think we're on opposite sides, because I haven't really taken a side on this. I'm just asking the question: how is this going to affect things? And I think it's a good thing to ponder about. I think you brought up some really good points about, what's it going to do? Is it going to make people, if it is very low, then you can easily say, hey, there's your coin. We already did a hard fork. Like, it does feel, I think this is on purpose. Bitcoin Cash seems to have branded themselves more as an altcoin with sort of an airdrop that's sort of consistent with whatever the balances are on Bitcoin as of August 1st. So that seems, and I think they did that on purpose so that there would be much less sort of animosity. It does feel like a much more amicable split than maybe like a bitter divorce that I think that we were projecting beforehand. But there is this 2x thing that's still coming up, and I do feel like this is going to affect it in some way, shape, or form. So that's the question I'm asking. That's all.
I gotcha. I don't think it will have any effect. Like I said, if they hard fork, and it looks like they're going to hard fork, and I think it's going to be in single digits on price. And
the 2x hard fork or the Bitcoin Cash?
No, the Bitcoin Cash. Look, I honestly, like, in Bitcoin, I don't, like, I only deal with what the hell is going to happen next week. Like, I'm not even like, I'm not projecting further down the line anymore. Like like one of my bosses back out of Wall Street, like whenever people would like think way further down, like you're supposed to think further ahead in the business, but in reality, you're always putting out fires left and right. Whether it's a physical business or whether it's whether you're writing software, there's always like a fire going on in your projects. And whenever people start thinking too far ahead, he would literally tell them, he's like, at this point, you're mentally masturbating. Just stop. That's what he used to say. So so I will coin that. I will like steal that term, and I would say at this point, speculating on the 2x hard fork in November at this stage is mentally masturbating on the. You hear laughter in my background. Is mentally masturbating on the situation of scaling at the moment.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question.
No,
I'm not really saying anything.
Right. So my view is, so if Bitcoin Cash does fork off right now in next week or whenever, and it's trading in single digits, which is where I expect it to be, then I'm just gonna, it'll make my life so much easier by telling all of those big blockers, you have your big block. Go convince Bitcoin Cash to adopt SegWit, and you have everything you wanted in life. Just go. That's what I'm basically going to tell. All right, one last thing before I do stop screen share. Poloniex just came out with their announcement for this, and Poloniex is just as clueless as I am as to what the hell is going on and why would anybody care. So I just read through this, and Poloniex is like, yeah, we don't really know. And Poloniex is good at this stuff. And Poloniex is like, yeah, if you want this garbage, go ahead and take your coins off. I don't think anybody will. I don't think anybody should. So look, my view is, well, you shouldn't have any coins on exchanges. But if you have coins on exchanges and you're that greedy, if you're that greedy for this Bitcoin Cash, you can hand your Bitcoin to a company that I believe is about to exit scam. And if you choose to wait till August 1st, and you really need that dollar, and you really need that dollar, like, I can't see this thing in reality after August 1st trading beyond single digits. If you really want that dollar from every Bitcoin that you have, then sure, then take it off exchanges. I think it's ridiculous. I think that the gains in Bitcoin price, the moment people realize how dumb this is, Bitcoin should pop by $650, which is what I said on yesterday's video. I think the gains from just Bitcoin going up, when this nonsense is proven to be nonsense, like I expect, is way more. So if you are a trader, I mean, if you're not a trader, you shouldn't have your coins with third parties to begin with, right? And if you're a trader, trading this nonsense just from a Bitcoin perspective will probably be better for you. And by trading, I mean just holding the freaking Bitcoin, actual Bitcoin, would probably be better off. That's my advice to the people. So time to stop sharing screen at this point. So I'm not worried about this at all. So don't, I'm telling people not to be scared. You leave your coins on exchanges. No exchange is dumb enough to actually follow that mess. Now, in fact, I would, if this is so bad, I shouldn't even say it, but only because I hate Coinbase so much, I'm going to say it. So because this Bitcoin Cash is so stupid, you would be better off keeping your Bitcoin on Coinbase or other exchanges, and then like harassing them that they owe you Bitcoin Cash. Like the process of splitting the coins is not worth your time. So you want to outsource that to Coinbase, right? So I would be, if I had Coinbase coins, right, I would be starting a movement right now to force Coinbase to split them for me and do all of the stupid legwork, or then filing like a class action lawsuit against Coinbase to then give me my clam coin, right? Which they're not going to work. So if I was the exchanges, I would immediately make a statement saying we are not going to waste our time splitting this stupid. You want to? This is what Poloniex is doing. Poloniex is way smarter than Coinbase. Poloniex is saying we're probably not going to care about this stupid. So if you want that coin, you take your coins off exchanges. This ain't what they were saying with the user-activated soft fork. They didn't want to lose your business. This is the kind of situation where they think that the time spent splitting the coins would be not worth it at all, because they don't think anyone is going to be stupid enough to take their coins off exchange for this nonsense. So if I was the exchanges, I would immediately put out a press release saying, hey, if you guys want this nonsense, take your coins off. We're not going to be responsible for splitting this shit. That's what I would do. Now, if an exchange doesn't say that, then I would force that exchange to give me that coin. But that's my view on it. I don't think anyone should even waste their time.
Well, I will defer to your expertise on actual predicting of price. But I will say, if you think there's any chance that it's worth a significant amount, like 5–10% of Bitcoin, then it's in your interest to get money off the exchanges. And that might not be a very big probability according to some people. I did a poll on Twitter. I think it was the most voted poll that I've ever given, and it was predict the price of Bitcoin Cash as of August 10th. And for $0 to $10 won with 50% or something like that. So if it is going to be between $0 and $10, it may not be worth your time, right? Like it's very possible that it's totally not worth your time. It's depending on how many Bitcoins you have, that still may be a substantial amount of money, but most likely it's not. So that's something to think about, right? But that said, if it's anything higher than that, it might be worth it to you. And if it's not worth it to you, then don't do it.
All right, Jimmy. Okay, so let's say the worst case scenario, it's worth $5. If you have,
you think the worst case scenario is $5?
Yeah, I honestly do.
Okay.
Like maybe if you're like.
Okay, that's not my assessment, but.
Right. Well, okay, so. So I see it more like Zcash.
Mm-hmm.
So the price of Zcash was like $15,000 a coin the first 5 minutes.
Right. It was like less than a Bitcoin traded of it. Yeah.
Right. Because the idiots at Zcash released the first block of Zcash with like 0.2 Zcash in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I see this being like a Zcash, like the first hour or two of Zcash. This is how I see this thing, right? So like the first 5 minutes, it might be worth $500 each. But within 5 to 20 minutes, it's going to be worth like $5. And if you have that much Bitcoin sitting on an exchange, where one Bitcoin where a split of Bitcoin will give you $5 per Bitcoin, and that's worth it to you, my advice is you have way too much Bitcoin sitting on an exchange.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think $5 is the worst case scenario. Is in my assessment. That's the change.
For me, within 24 hours of this hard fork, $5 a coin is the worst case scenario.
And you think it'll be $5 or lower?
Yes, within 24 hours of the hard fork, absolutely.
Okay, I mean, if that's your assessment, then I totally agree with your prescription for what to do. I don't think that's the worst case scenario, but that's my personal assessment. And I'm very open to it being wrong, but that's I mean, there's a lot of people with a lot of money that are on the other side, and it's very possible that, like, say Roger Ver dumps a ton of his Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash, which may be good for you, right?
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be for me. God, that would be amazing for the entire crypto world.
But that would also mean that Bitcoin Cash is worth a lot more.
No, it would mean that Roger is about to be separated from his Bitcoin.
Right, but it would. In the meantime, you could sell him the Bitcoin Cash for a lot of money.
All right. This is not Ethereum Classic. I mean, you're not going to get like 2 chances at this, right? I don't think the Ethereum Classic is going to repeat. But all right, it's actually time to wrap up our show. I wish I can get to some audience questions, but I actually my hiking along the beach that I ran a little bit late, and we got to go out. Say hi to Sarah. It's time for us to go out, and I do have to cut this video short. Any closing thoughts on this, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, it depends entirely on what your assessment of what Bitcoin Cash will be after August 1st. And depending on that, follow Tone's advice, don't follow my advice, but do that based on what you think, how you project things, and based on like sort of the variance that you see going forward. And that's how you should make your decision.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a little different from my usual shows of economics and trading and charting. Also, Crypto Scam is coming back when I get back to the US. I'm also trying to organize my travel schedule. I'll be traveling a lot. I'm going to go all through Europe in September, October. I might be back here in California. There's an event on August 10th. I will keep everybody updated on my travel schedule. Hopefully, people will come out if you are in those cities. I am available for consulting at 0.1 Bitcoin per hour. I talk more about it on my economics shows, where we talk about trading and markets or anything else you feel I am competent enough to help with. And you let me know ahead of time, because I will tell you that I may not be competent to help you, and then I will not accept your money for consulting. And also, thank you for your donations. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing. Jimmy, I think we had close to 600 viewers this episode, so that's pretty good. I think I saw it like in the high 500s. I'm assuming we hit 600 at one point. And this is me signing off. Anything else you want to say, or we're good to go?
I think we're good to go. Let's just watch.
All right, so let's
get some popcorn.
Let's hope that this was the final episode of the Bitcoin Fork and ChainSplit show, but I have a feeling we'll be doing this again within a couple of days with episode 5, because something else is going to come out. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.